Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to another episode on Northwoods Exploration. And today is going to be a little bit different than normal. Usually I like to put up videos about going out into the woods, going out into nature, photography, videography, etc. And today's going to be different because this is the first video I've made since I suffered a stroke back in March. For reference, it's late July. So, what happened? Why did it happen? How am I now? Let's talk about it. All right, guys. So as I said, today I want to discuss how I've been doing over these last few months. Yes, I did suffer a stroke on, it's either March 13th or 14th. Basically, I had a couple days off from being on duty. I worked as a 911 dispatcher for one of the counties up here in northern Wisconsin. And I decided that I wanted to get out in the woods, do some photography. I'll throw some pictures up here that I actually took on the 13th. But long story short, my entire left arm went numb. No shortness of breath, no chest pain, so I figured I wasn't having a heart attack. But I knew pretty early on that, okay, these are the symptoms of stroke. I'm in a lot of trouble here. So I probably should have called 911, but instead I called my wife first because I wanted to let somebody know where to come and collect the body. Because I really did think that I was going to die in the woods, which on one hand, where else would I want to die than in the woods? But I really, got a lot to live for. I got a little girl. I've got a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of endeavors that I'm working through and working on. And so death really was not part of those plans. But long story short, I ended up driving over to where my wife was, and we eventually went to the hospital. Spent, according to Google Timeline, and I say Google Timeline because I have no recollection of anything that happened for the first, I'd say, 4 to 6 weeks after the stroke. It's like someone just opened my brain, took out that part, and closed it up because it simply doesn't exist in my head right now. So yeah. I don't really remember a lot from after the stroke, nor do I remember a lot from when I first got home. I did shoot some very short videos that apparently I had the wherewithal in my memory to make these videos because I knew I wouldn't remember anything from that time. And I've gone back and watched those, and I've learned a lot, not only about myself and my condition, but also learned how heartless and ruthless certain people can be that will remain unnamed. I will leave it at that. But long story short, I do have a documented record from that time period that I have no recollection of at all. But I'm thankful for that record because I learned a lot of good and valuable intel. So, long story short, apparently I can't talk today. Long story short, it's July, and I had the stroke back in March, and I'm doing pretty well. I'm not back to work. In fact, I actually received a letter from the sheriff's office right here, still have it, where they told me that they were releasing me from my position. Wasn't happy about that because I'd actually talked to the sheriff a couple days before, but they said they were releasing me from my position. Wasn't his call. It was the call of the other side of the building, the admin side, but it is what it is. I'm probably not going to return to being a 911 dispatcher after the stroke. You see, when you nearly die, it really puts things in perspective for you. And so you think about not only a lot of the things that you did before, but you think about a lot of the people and relationships that you had, and it almost makes you put a value on the relationships. And if you're not receiving a return on investment, it makes you reconsider some things. And so, yeah, I'm not going to lie. After the stroke, some of the relationships that I had with people, yeah, those, how can I put it nicely? Those relationships are pretty bankrupt. So if I'm in a bankrupt relationship with somebody, and I'm not talking romantic, I'm talking, interpersonal relationships, then it's got to go. When you go through tragedy, you find out who people really are. And those people that stand beside you and love you through the difficult times are the people that are worthy of you and your time when you're better. Because if people are only willing to be nice and kind and loving to you in the good times, and then basically they treat you like crap in the bad times, well, those relationships really aren't worth it. Life's too short. I figure, I'm turning 40 this year. I got another 20 to 30 years on this earth. Maybe. If the good Lord lets me live that long. With my family genetics, I'm pretty screwed. But with modern medicine, hopefully I can live at least another 20 or 30 years. But in those next 20 to 30 years, I've got to decide what I'm going to do with my life. I have, for the longest time, kind of spun my wheels. I've gone from one event to the next best and latest and greatest thing, from job to job to job, and it's time to really sit back and think about what is really important and what matters the most to me personally, and then I need to move on that, because life's too short. Life is too short to sit back and waste my days that I have left. And like I said, 20, 30 years, maybe. That's what I've got left. And so I want to make the best of it and make the most of it. And those that are in my life that want to come along for the ride, buckle up. Let's go. Let's have fun. But those that are fair weather, those that are on the periphery because they choose to be, peace out, Girl Scout. So, anyway, guys, I'm not going to get into too much more about things. It's been tough going over these last few months, where just trying to come back from the stroke, trying to understand what happened and why it happened, and then trying to prevent it from happening again. So, anyway, I appreciate your thoughts and your well wishes and your prayers. And I'm going to start making more content for the channel, and I'm going to go ahead and get this up on the channel ASAP. And as always, guys, don't forget to get out there and enjoy the adventure, because life's a ride, and sometimes all we can do is just simply hang on. And sometimes in life, folks, I'll tell you, I'm not going to get all preachy here, but sometimes in life we are given second chances, and we don't need to blow it. So, anyway, guys, that's all I got. I'm doing well these days, and I look forward to getting back out in the woods and sharing all that with you guys. So, take care, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.